Hey everyone, it's Paul here, and I just finished up a mid-century modern coffee table out of walnut, all solid wood, and I just wanted to share some of the project highlights with you. I didn't capture every aspect of this project along the way, but I did capture what I felt were some of the more challenging aspects of it. There were two things in particular that were intimidating to me as I started this project. I was a little intimidated by such a wide miter. The table is 23 inches wide. I guess that would be deep, 23 inches deep, 40 inches long or wide. And so I really wanted to get a crisp miter on that. That's important to these projects. And I hadn't done such a large miter before. I've done some mitered boxes and so forth. But so I talked to a couple friends on how to approach that and came up with a pretty simple approach that ultimately just worked great. So I'll show you that. And then the second intimidating point to this was, and this all started with my daughter sending me a picture from online of a table like this that she wanted to match, which I love a challenge. So that was one challenge. The second challenge was, I'll just flip this up. The angle, so these are splayed legs, they come out and forward 45 degrees in each direction, and then this intersection, this joint of this of these rails to support the shelf, that was an intimidating joint for me, and so I gave that quite a bit of thought, talked to a couple friends about that as well. Didn't turn out to be as challenging as I thought it might, but I'll show you how I did that as well. I'll show you kind of the main steps along the way, and then let me know down below. If there's something that I didn't cover that you wish that I had, let me know. I'm happy to answer whatever questions I can about the project and help you through this if you want to give it a try. So let me just kind of walk you through some of the highlights and then answer any questions down below.
I glued up a couple walnut panels. One was long enough for the bottom, and the one was long enough for the top and both sides. I do this in two phases. First phase, wide enough to fit through my planer. Second phase, just a single joint that makes cleanup and sanding really easy. Then I trimmed one end square using a panel sled. And then I decided to do the miter cuts on the table saw. You could do this using a track saw or circular saw as well, but if you've got a table saw with a large enough fence, it works great. Then the chamfer for the front and back of the panel, 45 degrees here. Then milling a dado. That dado will receive the walnut panel used for the rear of the table. Then I used biscuits for the miters. This worked great to lock in as I applied clamping pressure. The biscuits held everything in alignment, worked out great. Highly recommend doing it this way. Then I'm just tacking in some drawer positioning components. I nailed it in front and then used sloppy screw holes in the rear just to allow for expansion and contraction. And you can see I glued that piece just on the front 5 or 6 inches or so. Okay, now it's glue up assembly time. You'll notice I'm using white Elmer's glue. I do this when I want a lot of open time. It's PVA glue. It has the same open time, or it has the same strength of bond as any other PVA glue, but it gives you about triple the open time of the Titebond 3 that I normally use. So you see I'm dropping the biscuits in and making sure everything is lined up very carefully. Those miters are going to look good as long as you keep everything in perfect alignment. Now you see I've got clamping pressure going in both directions. And just carefully dialing in the clamping power to close the joint up very carefully and making sure that it's perfect alignment all the way around. And you can see that it's about an A-, and then just kind of tweaking, closing that up where it's slightly gapped using a little thin CA and sanding it to create a little sanding dust. And you see I've got a little container of walnut dust there as well that I can use to fortify. But that just made that joint come out perfectly. All right, now it's time to turn some legs. So I used a domino joiner to mill the slots for the leg to rail connections before I started turning, and that was the key. So I used a 6mm domino slot, drilled a hole for the screws before turning it so I could perfectly center it, and then just turned 4 legs. I set the depth for top, middle, and bottom before I started turning, and then just kind of created a taper going from depth to depth. And it probably would have been better to do some intermediary depths along the way, but it worked out just great. 4 legs came out about the same. Now I used these angled brackets. I just bought them at a home center. I'll give you a link to those. And the lag bolts were a little on the long side, so I could have driven them more deeply into the leg to bury that, but I just used a Forstner bit and created a little relief to drop that into. Worked out just fine. Okay, then setting the angles for cutting the rails, I went 11 degrees. Worked out great. It should have been, I thought it should have been more than that, the 12-degree splay plus the taper of the leg, but 11 degrees in this case worked out just great. So I went with that. I'm just creating a little relief to shape the end of the rails to the round legs. And I just kind of eyeballed that, did a couple test cuts, and I'm just using a bandsaw to just kind of remove some of that, and then a gouge or a carving tool to remove some of the other waste. If you want to use a power tool, a grinder worked just fine with a burr attachment. They all came out pretty good. Then just doing some test fits just to see where I was going to make that cut. Drew my line. Went over and cut that on the miter saw as well. Then brought it back and made sure that it was going to fit properly. Looking really at the leg alignment to make sure it was going to be able to be positioned where I wanted it to be. Then glued everything up and attached the leg. Now you see those block spacers to keep that in perfect alignment. That's really important because you want that shelf to fit properly. You can see that the joint came together nicely, and where I rounded that out, it matches nicely to the leg. Now the next step is to add the additional cross member. You can see I mitered it so that it fit. You see that jig to apply the perfect clamping pressure that I'm showing. That created a parallelism between the stretcher, and I was able to apply straight clamping pressure to pull it together really nicely. Now just milling up a couple of drawer boxes using locking rabbets. Nice simple way to make a drawer. I made the drawer out of cherry, which is a nice contrast to walnut. This style of drawer is so easy to assemble. Now one thing I'd point out is that you can see those T-bars that I have the assembly set up on. That just makes it great for clamping. I assembled just about everything on those T-bars. Okay, now I'm building the frame for the shelf. The original that I was copying used one solid slab shelf. I decided to make this mitered frame and then put some slats in. So I just put a little dab of glue at each end of the 3/8 inch slat, used a spacer to set them apart, and then I drove an 18 gauge brad in from the bottom, and it worked out pretty good. I've used that approach on shelves in the past and really like it.
Let me know if you have questions down below. Hope you'll give it a thumbs up, give it a like, even if you hate it, give it a like. Hope you'll subscribe, come back to the Tool Metrics channel. I do a lot of woodworking, wood turning, a lot of power tool related videos, and I'm just about to kick off a kitchen cabinet project next week. So hope you'll subscribe, come along on the journey with me. Thanks so much for watching, and happy holidays.